So, we're so excited. Happy New Year! It's 2017. Give yourselves a hand for being here. The beginning of our Mary Kay year 2017, and we've got an amazing goal-setting training because everything starts at the beginning of having a new vision and a new goal and getting right out of the gate. And we've got some amazing training for you on getting everything set up and ready. So, our very first trainer is none other than Patty. Ready? Yay, Patty! Give her a hand.
I'm excited. This is going to be great. 2017. How awesome is this? So I'm going to share a little bit about goal setting with you, and then show you a little of some of the things that I've done in the past, or maybe today, that are working. And so we'll see how that all comes together. So the first thing that I want to say is, years ago, I heard an acronym for setting goals that is called SMART. So if you'll just write S-M-A-R-T down the side of your paper. This is just something that I have always had in my office and just kind of reminds me when I start setting goals, because sometimes we have dreams and we definitely need to dream. And sometimes we have visions, and then sometimes we have goals. And so there's a real process that I'm sure Amy is going to do a great job of pulling it together and really showing us how we need to do that. But the thing about it is that sometimes we're just kind of in the dream process. And while that's a very big part of it, until we get to the goal process, we don't really make things happen. So S stands for specific. So when you're setting a goal, it needs to be specific. And N is measurable. So I'm going to lose weight this year is not measurable. So it has to have some sort of measurement, some number, percentage, something in there, whether it's adding to your team, whatever it is, but there needs to be some measurable part. A is achievable and actionable. So it's something that you can achieve. So I can't say I'm going to lose 20 pounds by January 10th, because that's not going to happen. But you need to have something that you can achieve, that is feasible, but then something that's also actionable, that you can put action behind and figure out what action needs to happen to make that. The R is for realistic and rewarding. So to me, the realistic part doesn't mean that you're not dreaming big, because we definitely need to step out of our comfort zone and dream big. But it does mean that you realize you're not going to be a national sales director by January 2018 when you have not added a team member yet and you're not holding classes. So, we need to be a little bit more realistic with all of that. And rewarding is that it's a goal for you. Sometimes we set goals that we think other people think we should attain. And if it's not exciting to you and it isn't meaningful to you, you're going to have a really hard time reaching for that goal. And so I would say make sure that it's rewarding. It's something you want, that you see the value of. God bless you. T is timely and tangible. So there needs to be a timeline. That really is the difference in the dream and the goal. Because a dream is definitely where we want to be heading. But when we put a deadline to that, and sometimes our deadlines have had to change, but the goal has not had to change. And so we've changed that date and moved it to another date, but there needs to be a date along with it. And it needs to be tangible. It needs to be something that you can actually say, I have now reached this goal. If it's kind of pie in the sky and you can't really tell if you've met it or not, it's not really a goal. So that's one thing I would say, is try to remember whenever you're setting goals of any kind to make sure that they're SMART goals. And so I love that because it helps me to kind of put it all together. A couple of things that I wanted to share was, where do you put your goals? And how do you put them together? So goal posters used to be the big thing, and maybe they still are, and that's great. If it's good for you, that's awesome. But what I tell people is goal posters are different for everybody. So sometimes it's a poster board that is big, and it's in your office, or it's in your living room, or wherever you want to put it. But there are other ways that you can do goal posters. And one of the ways I have done them in the past are postcards. I know when I was earning my first car, my director, I think, had sent me a picture of the car. It was the Pontiac Grand Am. And I remember taking that to my odometer, not my speedometer, never got any tickets during that time, but the odometer. And so I had it there. So every time I got in my car and I sat down, I looked at that Pontiac Grand Am and I thought, yes, that's what I'm working for. And so it needs to be something that is in a place that makes a difference to you. And so sometimes it's something smaller. This could easily be 3 different goal posters or things that you use. So if the red jacket is something you're working towards, there are plenty of them there for you to be able to use as well. The other thing is vision board. And because we are recording on my phone, I don't have my vision board there, but I will tell you there's an app that's called Success Vision Board. And Jack Canfield, who has done the Chicken Soup for the Soul, is the author of it. And so I know you all can't really probably see this, but this is my vision board that's actually on my phone right now. And so it's a picture that I created, and you can put together as much or as little as you want. So if all of that kind of goes, wow, that overwhelms me, to me, there is great purpose and vision in all of this. And I can explain that all to you at another time. But I mean, so, you know, it has pictures of the things that I'm really working for this year. And then I actually went through and wrote out my affirmations for the year that go along with my vision board. So they line up together perfectly. Mine are all with scriptures. And so I'm reading the scriptures, which is part of actually what my goals are this year, is to be more in the Word. And all of that. So everything, it's just kind of lining together and pulling it together. So those are some things. The other thing I would tell you is, where are you putting your goals? Because I've seen people who do goal posters, and then they go, I have a goal poster here somewhere. I don't know where it's at. And if you don't know where it's at, it's not doing its job for you. So put something in a place that you will see it, and that's why my phone is someplace that I see every day. I recommend the refrigerator, the bathroom, obviously your office, and your car, because those are places that you do visit quite frequently and see. And of course, the one thing that I would say with all of that, and I know for those of you who were here a couple weeks ago when we did training, we talked about the weekly plan sheet. And the weekly plan sheet is going to be integral to obtaining your goals. Once you've set your goals, breaking them down and putting them into that weekly plan sheet and what it is you need to accomplish this week. But that weekly plan sheet should be on your refrigerator for all of us each and every week, for our entire families to see when we're working our business and what it is that we're doing, as well as to keep our family schedule together, and so that we can kind of see all of that. So I hope that kind of helps give some ideas about goal setting and boards. And I'm excited to get to introduce Angie.
Woohoo!
Hello. I was sitting back there and I have this horrible fear that all my down layers weren't going to be going the right way because I just went to the restroom, so I hope that everything is good since we're recording. So I hate for that to have been a faux pas. But my section of training is kind of more exactly to just add on to what Patty said about goal reaching, because everybody has to have goals. Everybody has to have dreams. I've heard that it's okay to live in a dream world. Everybody needs to have dreams to where you live in a dream world of what you want to happen, what you want to be. You have to have something to strive for every single day. So we've all heard about people someone who's maybe ill and they gave up and they passed away. We've all heard of that. Or someone who has retired and then gets ill or they pass away. It's sad because it's like, everybody's body is programmed to succeed. That's just the way you are. You're programmed to have some sort of movement forward, some sort of improvement, and when you feel like that's not happening or that's not going on in your life, then you die. I mean, it could be literally die, or it could be metaphorically die, but you die, and it's sad. So everybody has to have some sort of goal. Every goal must make you stretch, but it must be realistic. Like Patty's SMART, but it's called a
Acronym.
okay, see, that's making me smarter because I didn't know what that word was. So everybody needs to have that acronym. Your goal needs to make you stretch, but be realistic. For instance, National Sales Director Emeritus. Every single person in this room could be a National Sales Director Emeritus. Agreed? Okay, you may not even know what it is today, but we could do it. Every single
Yes.
person in here could do it. However, if you set a goal of being National Sales Director Emeritus by February 1, there's not a single person in this room that could do that. I mean, it's impossible, couldn't happen. So setting the goal is good, making yourself stretch is good. Maybe setting that goal by 2020, you could be a National Sales Director, but over-goaling yourself is not good. It's actually detrimental to your psyche to over-goal yourself and continually miss and miss and miss and miss. So in addition to setting your goals, I started to cough right into the microphone. In addition to setting your goals, you need to reach goals too. So we heard from Joel Moore last month that if you consistently miss a goal, your body, which the world has programmed to think this way, will beat yourself up. You will beat yourself up for not meeting it. That's women, that's how you are, that's why we have affirmations to try to negate that our entire lives. But it will chip away at your self-confidence because you're telling yourself, here was my goal, I didn't get it, I suck. I'm no good, I'm a loser. Mary Kay's not for me, wah, 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 blah, 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 blah. All while you think you're doing better, you're improving yourself by setting these huge goals. It's backwards. Does that make sense? So chipping away at your self-esteem is not what a goal is meant to be for. So while you're goal setting, think of what you want this year. Okay, so everybody get something in your mind. Think of what you want overall, the big dream, the huge dream, every single thing that you want. You're not going to have it tomorrow, but you need to know that in the future. Think of what you want this year, by seminar, this quarter, this month, this week, even today. Your goals, you can have goals for every single little step along the way. Break it down, but then make some of them what I call stupid simple. They need to be stupid simple. So Patty's smart, I'm stupid. Everybody can have some way to remember that. But they need to be something so simple like, I need to get out of bed today. I need to get out of bed today by 7 o'clock. Or if you're Amy, by 5 o'clock or whatever. I don't ever get out of bed by 5 o'clock. So you need to get, I want to get out of bed by 7 o'clock every day this week. I mean, something that you can do, because there's actually an article, and I should have printed it out, of course I didn't, of why the military has to make their bed. Have y'all seen that? Because it's an accomplishment. It gives them a sense of accomplishment all day. They've set a goal of making their bed every day, and when they get up, they make their bed. They've already done something. They can continue on now knowing that they've already met a goal for the day. Give yourself a chance to win, because in turn, what happens when you don't want to do something and you put it off and put it off and put it off? For instance, say you wanted to warm chat 3 people today. You put it off, you put it off, you put it off, but then you see someone who literally walks up to you and says, "Do you sell Mary Kay?" So you're like, "Okay, fine, I'll give you a business card." So you get her name and number. You see the second person and you're feeling a little good. Well, I've already got 1 name, I only need 2 more. Okay, I'll go ahead and give her a card. She says yes, and then you're like, okay, I only need 1 more, I only need 1 more. So you walk around, you find someone else, you ask her, she says no, who cares? You've got things to do, people to go, people to see, things to get done, everything, so it doesn't faze you. So then you go get the 3rd, you're good, might as well, I'm out, I'll go ahead and get 4, what the heck, I'll get 5. You've totally blown your goal out of the water, but then you're totally set up to go for all your other goals. And it's the same with every single thing. If you set your goals to make your bed, to make 5 calls before 9 a.m., to who knows, whatever your goals are, as you start doing the little stupid simple ones, it makes you want to do the other ones, okay? It like propels you into getting all these goals set. So by setting the little goals and reaching them, you will celebrate, your self-esteem will celebrate, you will move up, you will grow, you will not die, okay? That's it. So, I don't know if Mackenzie's next.
Yay, Mackenzie! Woo!
I know. I feel weird. I need a piece of paper, so it looks like I have notes. Okay, so you guys are so good. Do you all want to like run home and like make a poster and then write like stupid and smart and like everything on there? I know I do. Okay, so I'm just gonna be real with you guys. So they talked about goal setting. They talked about why. I want to talk to you guys about why we make goals and actually put a date on them, because I have struggled so much with this. Okay, so when I was a new consultant, like literally up till the day, maybe 3 days before I became a director, I was like, okay, so I have this really big goal. I want to be a red jacket by the end of the month. Okay, so let's take that as a goal. I would make that goal and I would say, I'm gonna be a red jacket, everybody, and then I'd stop. I didn't want to put a date on it because what I told myself was, I'm not God. I don't know his timing. It might not be for the end of the month. Okay, so can you guys has anybody been there? Are you there right now? I mean, we're small tonight, we're being intimate. That's where I was for years. I was just like, I'm gonna get there, I'm gonna be a director, blah, 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 someday, whenever God wants me to. I'm gonna work, and then the day it comes together is the day I'm gonna be it. No. I missed all of those goals, and the exact same thing that Angie talked about happened to me on a monthly basis of, I felt like a failure because I didn't meet my goal. You know, secretly I wanted it to be by the end of the month, but I wouldn't dare say that because what if that's not God's plan for me? So I just wouldn't do it, and forever. That was my cycle over and over again until one day I realized that putting a date on your goal is not saying, I don't care what God's plan is, this is when I want it, so I'm gonna get it. Who cares what anybody says? Putting a date on it means that you're actually putting your 100% toward it. Okay, so they briefly said that you can set a goal and miss it and then reset the goal. That's exactly what you do. You set a goal, and every single goal that you set, you say, I'm reaching it by the end of the month, and you work according to that deadline. So during DIQ, I knew that I could not do more than 4 months, okay? Everybody wants to do it a lot faster. I tried. Somehow having a baby in there messed things up for me, I don't know. But I knew by the end of 4 months, I had to be done, okay? And that changed something psychological for me, because I knew I didn't have a secondary plan. And as long as you have that secondary goal date sitting behind you going, I'm gonna try really hard to finish this month, and then if it doesn't happen, it's okay, because we're saving ourselves from being embarrassed, and then coming back to meeting and seeing everybody else, and then going, oh my gosh, are you a red jacket? No, you said you were gonna be a red jacket, and you have to go, no, and then you try to make up some excuse. Every single time, you try to make up an excuse of why it legitimately didn't happen, and you might have a good excuse. Everybody has life, and that happens. But the women who don't take life as their excuse are the women that move forward in this business. Okay, we all have life. Okay, we all have things that come up, and we all have things that derail us from our goal. But the day that I heard, has anybody worn Spanx before? We all know what Spanx are, right? Okay. So I was watching the woman who made Spanx. I was watching her on a talk show, and she opened my mind to what it is to set a goal and to reach a goal, and if you miss a goal, it's okay, okay? So when she was growing up, her dad used to encourage her and her brother to fail. Because we all have in our mind that when we say we're gonna try something and we're not good at it, or we don't accomplish it, it's a failure, but that's not what a failure is. The only way that you can possibly fail, her dad said, was by not ever trying, okay? And he was disappointed in them if at the end of the week they'd sit down for dinner and he would say, okay kids, what'd you fail at this week? And if they couldn't tell him anything, he was disappointed in them. Because what that told him was his children did not try anything new, and they stayed in a comfort zone for that week of their life. And so that instilled in her mind that if I never try to do something, I'm never gonna grow, okay? So I'm always gonna try. So one day she went to school. She tried out for the sports team. She utterly failed. She was horrible at it. And she ran home. And most kids would go home and be like, please don't ask me if I tried out because I don't want to tell you how badly I did. And like they quiver. She ran home to her dad and blew through the doors and goes, Dad, guess what? I tried out for the sports team today. And he goes, how'd you do? I failed. I sucked. I was so bad at it. And he high-fived her because he was so proud that she put herself out there. And what that told her was success is never in the outcome. It is only in the effort. So at the end of every month, whenever you have set your goal and you say by, let's take this month, okay, so January, is there 30 or 31 days?
31.
31 days this month. By January 31st, this is where I'm going to be, and I'm going to work all out for this day. Okay, so every single day I have my weekly plan sheet. I'm getting out of bed by 7. I'm going out. I'm talking to women. I'm getting my new names and numbers. I'm booking every day. At the end of the month, when you sit back, it doesn't matter what your outcome is because you worked all out this month. You did everything that you could, and you know that if you miss that goal, guess what's going to happen next month? I bet you're going to get that goal. Okay, so you look at me as a brand new director, you probably think I made that decision one day, I'm going to be a director. By the first of the next month, I was in DIQ, blew it out of the water. That's not what happened. Okay, the day that I told Amy, I'm ready, I want to do this, I worked all out that month to get to my 10 because I knew that's what I needed. And I made it known. I'm going into DIQ on, I think it was June 1st. I made that known to everybody. That's what I wanted to do. I worked all out, and guess what happened June 1st? I did not go into DIQ, but I didn't care. I did not feel discouraged by that because what I did was I went from like 2 or 3 active team members to 8. And that would have never happened if I did not work all out that whole month without the thought process of, well, if I don't get it, I guess I'll just try again next month. Okay, that next month was just an addition to my goal. My goal was never gone. My goal did not die because I failed. My goal was extended 30 more days. And by the end of that second month, you're darn sure I got to 10 and I went into the IQ that next month because I knew that I had already set myself up for success. And that's what I want you guys to remember tonight as we're setting these goals, as you're looking at January, as you're looking at 2017, I don't want you to cut yourself short because you're afraid of what people will think of you if you don't make it. Okay? What you should be afraid of is, what are people going to think when they ask me at the end of this year what I accomplished? And I say nothing because I was scared to try. Okay? Because we all know, even if you don't say that, that's what happened inside of you. Okay? So make it a point to set a goal. Make it a point to accomplish it on a certain day because it's the only way that you do the work leading up to that day. Does that make sense to everybody? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So that's what I have, and now Amy, of course, is going to come up here and just blow your mind.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up, and I'm gonna move this and have everything go. Okay, so we've talked about goal setting, we've talked about setting your goal, we've talked about why you have to set it, why you have to have a deadline, why that's so important, why you have to know where you're going, what happens if you don't know where you're going, but all of that wraps around what happens if you know all of that and it's still not happening. What is the key if you know how to set the goal and you know what your goal is and you know to set a deadline and you have a goal poster, because all of these are very important strategic things and they're all pieces of what we're teaching you, and we've all been taught all of it, and you have to have every single thing that they have taught. Every single thing that Patty said, Angie said, Mackenzie said, are all pieces of what goes into goal setting. And the cherry on the top of the whole entire package of goal setting is one thing that we each have the blessing of controlling. It's the one gift that we all have that no one can take away from us. It's the one thing that no matter where you are, no matter who puts you or imprisons you, no matter what captive place you're at, no matter what your circumstances are, no matter where you're living, no matter what is happening in your life, it's the one thing that no one, not one person, not anything can have control of but you. Does anyone know what that is?
So is it hope or faith?
It's very close to that. It's connected to that. What is it?
Emotions.
Very close to that.
No one can control my mind.
It's your thoughts. It's your thoughts. That is the only thing that we have complete and utter control over is what we think. It doesn't matter what you live in. It doesn't matter what anybody does to you. It doesn't matter what's coming at you. It doesn't even matter where you're living, the circumstances that are swirling around you. You have a choice how you think and how you take captive every thought. That one itty bitty tiny itsy bitsy piece will either lead you to prosperity or keep you caught in the thicket. If you have ever been at a place where you think, I'm stuck, I'm stuck, I'm so stuck. I've been going around this mountain, going around this mountain, going around this mountain. I've been hitting the wall, I've been hitting the wall, I've been hitting the wall. I can't figure this out. I just literally can't figure this out. I have said to myself, seriously, I really pride myself on being pretty smart. And I cannot figure this out. There's got to be a secret. There has got to be a secret. Somebody has a secret somewhere. I'm going to find the secret. If somebody would just tell me the secret to this, there's a tiny little piece that I'm missing. Like this tiny itty bitty piece. And if I could just get the piece, I know in my gut it'll take off. And I was right. The tiny itsy bitsy tiny itty bitty minuscule piece was my thinking. It is our gift to us, and it is our thought process. It will give you freedom. It will give you everything you've ever hoped or desired, or it will keep you exactly where you are today forever. Because what you think you are, you are. What you think you deserve, you're gonna get. You teach people how to treat you because you feel you deserve it. You receive as much as you can hold. So here's how it works. We're gonna go on a little train ride with Winnie the Pooh, because it's the only train I could find. So here's what happens. We have these wonderful things. Piglet and Tigger are in the caboose that's called actions. So we get so upset with ourselves because we say to ourselves, why am I not doing what I know to do? This is so annoying. I know to go out and meet more people. I know I'm supposed to be doing faces. I even know how to show the product. I am good at showing the product. I can sell this product. I am so good at setting up a display. I can set up a tray with the cutest display, the cutest placemats, the cutest little fun things for them to take home, goodie bags. I'm so good at all that. I don't know why I'm not doing it. I'm even good at handing out my cards and getting their name and number back. And then I don't call and follow up to book them. Or I book them and then don't follow up to make sure they're coming. Those are all fall aparts in actions. Why don't I do the actions I know to do? Or how about this one? This is a dandy. And I'm speaking from experience, by the way. I've been through all of this at different seasons in my life in Mary Kay. You get a customer who calls in a reorder or texts you with a reorder or emails you with a reorder or a website order, and you mean to get the product to them, and then you forget. It's like gone. You forget. Or you don't get it to them right away. Or you have to track down the product and it's not quick right away. Or you get it to them and she says, oh, and I need something else. And then you don't get it to them right away. And time goes by. Or you lose their profile. You don't know where the profile went. Like you can't find it. It's somewhere. You don't know where it's at. Because you're not organized like you said you're going to be organized, because you can't get your actions together. Like your office is in disarray. Like complete disarray. Like if somebody called and said, I need the foundation that I ordered 2 months ago, your first thought is, please don't order that, because I don't know what foundation you're wearing. I don't even know where your profile is. What is your name again? And you're panicking because you don't even know, you're not sure what her face looks like, because it's like gone. Why are the actions, because you're like together. I mean, I'm not talking about somebody who's not together. I'm talking about somebody who is together, looks together. Like everybody that sees you thinks, that girl is together. And you are not together. You're a hot mess and you know it. And like you can keep yourself together for about 2 weeks at a time, by the way. When your actions are not congruent with where your goal is, you can, through sheer willpower, keep yourself together for 2 weeks at a time. It's a known fact. So if you go on a diet, if your actions are not in line with your engine, which I'm going to tell you what your engine is, you can go on a diet and do really good for 2 weeks, and then you're going to eat your house up. Everything in the house. You better hide your kids because you will eat them too. Because 2 weeks is all your willpower can do, because it's not congruent with your engine. Your engine is your thoughts. Your engine pulls everything. So if your thoughts are not in alignment, so let's take your Mary Kay business. Your thoughts, the things that run through your mind the most, is what is pulling your Mary Kay business. So let's say that your goal is to become a sales director, okay? That's your goal. That's what you put up. It's all over your house. You're excited about it and you talk about it. But the thought that keeps rolling through your head is, I'm never going to become a director. I'm a mess. I'm a hot mess. I can't meet people. I'm scared to meet people. And when I do meet people, I lose the profile. My office is a wreck. I don't even know how I keep up with it. I just don't even know how I keep up with it. Yeah, I'm going to be a sales director. Woohoo! Yes, you know I am. Oh my gosh, I'm still not going to be a sales director. I don't know why I'm even saying that. It's what you say to yourself. You know what's rolling through your head if you get quiet enough, long enough. So the thoughts that are rolling all the time is pulling. So here's your engine. It's starting, it's rolling. So it's the dominating thought. I don't know what I'm doing. What if I make directorship and lose it? What if I can't keep a team together long enough? What if everybody on my team is a hot mess like I'm a hot mess? Then I have to deal with all my hot messes. So this is the dominating thought. Then the second caboose is the feelings that come along with the thought. That's the second caboose. So if your thoughts are, I don't even think I know what I'm doing, and how would I keep all of them together, because that just seems overwhelming, then the feeling of overwhelm happens. Even though you're saying, yeah, I'm going to be a director, 2 months, I'm going to be walking across that stage at career conference. But the background thought is, how would I keep it all together? And you can't help it, because the second caboose is the feeling of overwhelm. So the feeling of, stress, stress. I have a headache. I don't even know if I could go to the meeting because I have a headache. I'm not feeling, I think I have hives. I don't even know why I think I have hives. I feel itchy and I have a sore throat. All of a sudden, yes, I definitely have a sore throat. I feel kind of congested all the time. Ever since I started this Mary Kay thing, I'm just feeling congested. I don't even know why, because I'm overwhelmed. Yes, I'm going to be a sales director by Career Conference, girl. Yes! Overwhelmed, because the background thought is not in alignment with your mouth. You're saying it, but what's happening is the engine is pulling. So guess what the third caboose is your actions. So when you're overwhelmed, we all do different things, but it's gonna line up with the engine. It's not gonna line up with what's coming out your mouth. It's gonna line up with the engine. The thought of, I don't know how I'm gonna do all this. I just don't know how I'm gonna do all this. And then the feeling of, I'm overwhelmed, I'm overwhelmed, I'm overwhelmed. And then the action is gonna be, what do you do when you're overwhelmed? I feel tired. I just feel so tired. I think I'm gonna take a nap. After I take a nap, I'm gonna do my booking calls, but right now, I feel tired. I'm just tired. I'm just tired. I can't help it. I can't get sick, so I'm gonna take a nap. And then I'm gonna make my booking calls. So does the action, taking a nap, line up with becoming a sales director by Career Conference? No. But it does line up with what the train engine says, which is, girl, you're overwhelmed. You're tired. You need to take a nap. You're congested. You're feeling sick. Take a nap. Go to bed. Eat some chips. Get some dip and some ice cream. You need to cry. Cry a little bit and be overwhelmed. And tell everybody in your house you're overwhelmed because Mary Kay's hard. Tell them all, and then tell them you're going to be a director by Career Conference. Make them think you're crazy. And then tell them tomorrow you're excited about Mary Kay. What a great plan. Everyone's going to be so happy about your Mary Kay. Is this not the truth?
Amen.
Okay. Then, what happens? The last of the caboose is results. So this is what happens last. So guess what happens at the end of the month? We've got no results happening because the results follow the actions. It is what it is. We live in this world and you can't have anything that doesn't line up with your actions. But the entire time, this whole train is really easy to understand when you understand what's happening to you. So once you understand that you have a choice what you think, you're just not understanding what the truth is about what you're thinking. You get to take every thought captive and line it up with exactly who God says you are. You are powerful. You can handle anything that you've been called to do. You have plenty of time to do all of it. You are strong. You are capable. You can plan it out. You can work in pockets. And once you decide that the thought, every time the thought of I'm overwhelmed, the second thought is, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I can do all of it. I can do every bit of this because I was called to it, so I will figure it out because I'm strong. You take the second thought and you take it captive and you attach it to a thought that's right. And then you repeat it and you repeat it and you repeat it with something that's true about you. And then what happens is the feeling changes. And you start getting excited because the thought affects your feelings. And when your feelings are excited, you will go into action and start booking and start meeting new people because you're excited. You're on a mission. And then when you meet new people, you're going to have results. And those results are going to go back around and feed more positive thinking. So, to make all the goals and all of the things work that started from the very beginning, you have to decide what your why is. So you get the vision of what you're thinking about. So up at the top of your goal worksheet, I want you to write down what is your biggest why. Why would you work this year? What would make it worth it to you? If you had an extra $1,000 a month, what would you do with it? Put it up at the top of your paper. Would you buy something for your kids? Would you buy something for yourself? Would you go on a vacation with it? Would you put it back every month for a new house? Would you pay off debt? Would you go on a trip with your husband? What would you do with that extra $1,000 or extra $2,000? Get a mental picture. I want a mental picture of what it is. What is it that you're going to do with it? Is it a new house payment? Are you going to move your family into a new house? And if you are, what is the picture of that house? So why is that so important? Because when you get a mental picture, it will help the thought. Because every time you start catching those negative thoughts, you're going to visually open the door and walk into your new house in your mind and start touring your new house. You're going to walk through every room, and you're going to bring your kids through every room and show them their new bedroom. And you're going to say, yes, this is in your head. Yes, this is what Mommy bought for you with my Mary Kay money. Yes, this is your new bedroom set. Yes, this is your new bedroom set. Yes, this is our pool that Mommy bought for all of us to have fun with. So, or is it a trip to Disney World? What is it mentally that you can connect to so every time a negative thought happens, you can go on your journey? Because when you go on your journey, it will immediately change your body chemistry to feel something happy and exciting and fun. Does everybody have a mental journey that they can go on? Because you have to know where you're going and picture it in your head. Are you giving all the money away? What are you doing with it? And then the goal worksheet is for you to figure out what that money is every month and then work through it. So you know how many people you meet each day, and it rolls out all the way through. So this is the beginning of 2017. This is the beginning of a year that you get to decide to be in control of what you get to do, how much you get to give, how many lives you get to change and impact. And it all begins with how much you control your thinking. That one, you can't control the first thought, but you can control the second, and the third, and the fourth. And that is where we live. Where you live today is where you thought you'd live yesterday, and the day before, and the day before, and the day before. You are where you are today because you thought you would be. And a year from now, everything will be different if you decide today. That's encouraging. That's hope. That is exciting because we have a vehicle that you get to just hop in, and it's called a company that has an endless ceiling of financial hope. And you get to get in and drive it, and you get to put your family in it and go on this amazing journey. So fill out your goal worksheet, and then I personally would love for you to write on a piece of paper what your journey is. So write your name, and then what is the journey that you're mentally going to take? So is it taking your family to Disney World? Is it a new home? Is it writing out on the top of all of your credit cards paid off? Is it paying off your house? What is it? What is the mental journey? Because you have to have a mental journey that you're going on. Or you'll have nowhere to go to when the negative thoughts hit, because we all have them. Okay? All right. I'm excited for 2017. We're going to have a ball.
Woo!
And we're so excited for our guests.